What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I have this bold eyeshadow look for you guys, and we are using this palette right here, Festival by Juvia'sPlace. So if you were interested in seeing how I achieved this look, then please stay tuned. Also, if you've not already subscribed, I'm asking you, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that way you never miss any videos as I'm uploading them. Thank you so much for your support, and I hope that you enjoyed the tutorial. Alright guys, please stay tuned. Alright guys, to get started, we're taking our palette, Festival by Juvia'sPlace, and we're going to go in with our nice domed brush, and we're going to hit our very first color, which is the orangey shade called Ofala by Juvia'sPlace. We're going to go ahead and kind of pack on a fair amount of that color to the dome brush. This is going to require some build up to kind of get that strong color payoff that we're looking for. So, I'm going to go in now with nice packing motions, like I'm pressing it, literally stamping that color all around, almost like in a half moon type of shape. Just packing that color into above the crease and just really kind of packing it in. We'll do this a few more times with that same color, that orangey shade. Just to kind of build up the intensity of that kind of orange reddish color. Alright, so we like the way that that's looking. Now it's time for us to kind of go in with that second shade. We're going to focus this primarily just in the outer V, or the outer portion of the crease. We're taking that flat brush and we're going in with the color Izafa. It's like the reddish color in the Festival palette. We're going to pack that pretty heavily onto this flat brush I got from Sigma. It's flat top, it's not a flat brush, but flat top brush. We're going to kind of just focus it in on the outer portion of the crease. Kind of like really focusing it in and just like packing it on that, in that outer corner of sorts. We're going to pack that in pretty well to kind of build that color up. I know that right now it's looking really harsh and kind of intense, but I promise you we're going to make it look a whole lot better. So you just take that brush, and like I said, I like having that flat tip. It allowed me to really kind of like stamp that color in and kind of concentrate it for that little outer portion of the eye. We'll go up. I'm going back in now with that initial brush that had Ofala on there, that kind of orangish shade. You really can't make out the difference. I'm just kind of going in, I'm not really adding any extra product. I'm just kind of going in and making sure that it looks even. Right, in the process of examining the look, I realized I forgot to highlight the brow bones. We're taking this color by Sephora called Stardust. We're just going to kind of go in with a short shader brush, and we're going to highlight the brow bone, just to provide a little bit of a contrast between that and that bold orangey shade. Now I'm going to take a clean brush and kind of dust away the excess. It's really easy for these little colors to kind of get muddled sometimes when you're doing really bold colors, but that's what we're doing. Alright, now that we're satisfied with that, it's time to move on to the carving out of our half cut crease. Taking a Juvia'sPlace concealer in the shade 14. 14 is the shade. We're going to now get a little bit of the product off of the wand that comes in with the concealer. And we're going to begin the process of loading up the brush, the short concealer brush, to begin carving out the cut crease or the half cut crease. My rule of thumb with doing this, as I'm still, of course, perfecting it, my rule of thumb is always start off slowly. Be as conservative as you can with the product, and you can always build up as you go. I also found that if you have a little bit, I don't quite have hooded eyes, but if you have a little bit of extra meat on your eyelid, it helps if you kind of raise your eyebrow to kind of make that skin kind of taut. That way it's easier to kind of get that desired shape that, we're going for. And it's always good to kind of look at yourself with your eye open just to make sure that the crease itself doesn't disappear. If you need to kind of go up a little bit like I'm doing here, by all means take your time and kind of raise it some. You want to make sure that when you're looking yourself straight on that you can see where that new crease is placed. A little bit of precision work here. I just use my fingers to kind of blur out that edge. Alright, so now I'm taking another flat brush and I'm going in with that yellow shade, which is Oro. I'm going to now take that short shade brush and I'm going to just pack color onto that brush to go immediately on top of the concealer. So I really wanted that nice, vibrant, yellowy color. So you would almost like you're setting the concealer with the shadow is pretty much what you're doing. And this is going to require some buildup, so we'll do this a few more times. Alright, so after using that brush, I'm going to go in now and use my finger to pack on a little bit more of that Oro color, just so I can kind of intensify that payoff. Sometimes when the brush doesn't quite get it, you have to just use your fingers. So I tried that at first. Now I'm going to go in just for the outer edge and use the brush just to kind of like solidify the amount of color that I'm putting on. So just figure out what works best for you. I think as I get around like the edge of the crease, I think the brush is a little bit better for being precise than the fingers, but do what you like. So we're going back in yet again with more of that yellow shade Oro, just trying to build it up. So that's what we're doing. Alright, so as I'm examining it, I'm seeing I lost a little bit of that outer corner of the eye. So I'm going back in with that flat brush again, adding that color Izafa one more time, that red color, and I'm going to now just kind of like fill in the outer portion of the crease and just kind of, make sure that my color payoff did not get lost in that reddish shade. Just kind of want to make sure that it looks really, really good and seamless. Checking it out and adding where I need to. Not really adding any additional product, just using whatever's on the brush still, just to kind of make sure that that is as opaque as I want. Now I'm taking that first brush that had the orange shade in it, and I'm just going back over it. Once again, not adding any additional product, just going back, just making sure that everything looks seamlessly blended together. Alright, so I'm grabbing now my LA Colors liquid liner, and I'm going to do a very dramatic cat eye, very dramatic wing. I think when you have a color this bold, you need something equally dramatic, so that's what we're doing. I'm kind of like looking to make sure that I position the brush just right. So kind of taking my time here as I draw out my guideline for my wing. Like I mentioned before, it's going to be pretty long since it is so bold of a look. Now once we have that guideline together, I'm going back in, with that, with the top line. Now we're going to just kind of fill in the wing. Right, taking a little bit more of that color, just going to intensify the darkness of that wing as I kind of get closer to the inner corner of the eye. I want to make sure that's good and black, deep, opaque. I'm even going to try to do a little bit more extending of that wing just to make sure that they're even. I think what I noticed here was that maybe they weren't as even as I like, so I want to go in and maybe add a little bit more of the product there at the base, just to kind of make that that wing a little bit fatter at the base. I hope that made sense. Alright, so now we're going to pile the other products away, and we're going to go in with a infallible concealer in the color neutral beige. I'm going to use that as like a base for my waterline. So we're going to kind of go in and just add a little bit of product there. I guess if I wanted to use the Juvia'sPlace, I could have, but I liked how light this was. So I'm going to go ahead and put that down. Then I'm going to grab my beauty blender, and I'm going to just kind of like buff that concealer out just to kind of make a base for the eyeshadows that I'm going to be putting down and smudging on that waterline. So we're going to kind of smoke out that waterline with the two colors we began with, Ofala and Izafa. So we're going to go in first with the orangish shade, and we're going to take that onto that shader brush. We're going to begin that process of putting it on the outer corner of the waterline. Alright, so kind of smoke that out that way and blow it out that way. Now taking the other side of that same shader brush, I'm going to go in with, I'm going to go in with now the goldish shade, which is Odogwu. And I'm going to kind of hit the inner corner. And the inner portion of the waterline with that, just to kind of add a little bit of goldiness, that's even a word, to the inner corner of the eye. So when that didn't quite work, I took a little like smudger, almost like a makeshift. If you have a pencil brush, you can use it here. I went right back in with that same color, that goldy color, the Odogwu, and I'm just going to kind of press in to the innermost corner of the eye. And that was really pretty payoff. So I'm going to take a little bit more and go on to the other eye and add a little bit there as well. Like I said, these are just details that, you know, if you like them, add them. If you don't like them, then omit them. But I like to have that little bit of perk. Now I'm taking just some cotton rounds and some cleansing water, and I'm going to clean up the fallout. So when these colors are strong and pigmented that way, I kind of like to go ahead and clean them up. I probably could have deleted it just by putting the foundation on, but if I can wipe it away as best as I can, that's what I want to do. So we're going to go in really, really carefully around the wing and just kind of remove some of that reddish and orange eyeshadow shade, just to make sure that that base is really clean. So checking it out. Am I liking what I'm seeing? I think I do. All right, so now it's time for some foundation. Just give me 1 second. All right, guys, so we're back and foundation is now on. Everything is officially together. So hopefully you like the final product. So if you enjoyed this tutorial, then by all means give me a thumbs up, and I will see you next time for our next video. Bye.